Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today is the final day of what we've termed as Submarine Week. For those of you who don't know, tomorrow, Saturday, September 14th, the Navy is commissioning a new USS New Jersey. This is the first new New Jersey to be commissioned since the Battleship, and only the third USS New Jersey in the history of the Navy. She is a Virginia-class fast attack submarine, SSN 796. And in honor of her commissioning, all of our videos this week have been submarine related. Now the museum is heavily involved in the planning of the commissioning committee. There's a committee in charge of it, so it's not like the museum is doing this, but we've been heavily involved in giving legacy tours to the crew on board the ship. In fact, Captain Haley, or Commander Haley, the ship's commanding officer, mentioned at an event on board the Battleship earlier this week that more of his crew have done legacy tours than every other submarine in the fleet, or something like that. I don't have his exact phrasing down, but 3 times the number of crew that are on that boat right now have come out to do legacy tours of the Battleship, about 400 total persons. Because she's had a prospective crew assigned for so long, folks have rotated in and out of the crew. So for today's video, the last one of the week, we've gotten a ton of questions about the submarine and the museum's involvement in that, and we're going to do a FAQ, a frequently asked questions video, to close out our submarine week. Now specifically, I'm not an expert on Virginia-class fast attack submarines. A lot of the stuff about them is still classified, so this is going to be more towards the museum's relationship with them, the Battleship's relationship with them. But we'll answer as many of your questions as we can. One of the most common questions we've gotten is, are they getting the Battleship silver? As a recap, for those of you who might be newer, the state of New Jersey commissioned Tiffany's & Co. to make a set of silver for the first Battleship New Jersey back in 1906. When there is a New Jersey in commission, that silver is typically on the namesake ship. When it is not in commission, the Navy usually returns it to the state for them to use until a new New Jersey is in service. Both battleships, New Jersey, BB-16 and BB-62, carried the silver service on board for most of their commission career. We don't believe New Jersey carried it, we don't believe this New Jersey carried it during World War II. There's a strong chance that it was crated up and left in Pearl Harbor or something like that during the war, so it wasn't lost. However, most of her active time would have been carried on board. The problem is the submarine doesn't have a big silver cabinet in the captain's cabin like the battleships did. They've got a relatively small cabinet in the wardroom that is for legacy items, and so they are going to get a couple of pieces of the ship's silver. In particular, we're looking at 2 of the chalices from the collection, but they will not get the full set. Right now, half of the surviving silver is displayed on board the battleship, and the other half of the surviving silver is displayed at Drumthwacket, the governor's mansion. So because of the small size of the submarine in terms of space to display state silver, they will only be getting a couple of pieces, but the plan is to give them some pieces from the set. We're still working with the Navy, who owns and administers the silver, to make that loan happen. Have we given the submarine or their crew anything else? The short answer is yeah, we have. In addition to all the tours and things that we've been doing for them to try and pass the namesake and the spirit of USS New Jersey onto this legacy vessel, we have given them a ton of the teak that we've ripped up from the ship's deck. We do sell that teak in the ship's store. If you're interested in getting some, feel free. We did not sell it to them. We gave them stuff, both raw teak that they could make into things that they wanted to, and some stuff that's been made up. So some of the things that they have made the teak into or are in the process of making the teak into are coffee mug racks for the wardroom, chief's mess, and the enlisted mess decks. They're planning on making like a graded deck for where the helmsmen sit, so that they will be standing on Battleship New Jersey teak, essentially. And the coolest thing probably is we have made name tags for every member of the ship's crew that are made out of the battleship's teak with their names in, I don't know if it's their rating, but at least the job that they do, if not their existing rank. I think it just says electrician instead of ET1 or whatever, just because they're going to get promoted while they're on board the ship. We gave these to the crew during a ceremony that was hosted on board the ship earlier this week when about 2/3 of the ship's current crew came on board. If the battleship gets reactivated, what are they going to call the submarine, since there's already a New Jersey out there? We've talked about this in other videos, so I'll briefly answer this question. That's probably why there hasn't been a new New Jersey until now. The fact that old New Jersey, the battleship, was still around to be reactivated. And she is reactivated several times during her career, so it made sense to not name a new ship after that. The Navy probably imagines that we're end of life, given that we've operated as a museum for over 20 years, and so it was safe to give the name of this ship, along with the names of several other World War II battleships, now museums, such as Iowa and Massachusetts, to new ships. That said, if everything goes bad and the Navy does need to reactivate an Iowa-class battleship, and they choose New Jersey, then there is some precedent for this. In the 19-teens and 20s, the Navy built the Lexington-class battle cruisers, 2 of which were named Constellation and Constitution. At that time, those ships were still commissioned vessels in the U.S. Navy. Constellation no longer is, Constitution still is. So for the period of, I believe it was 1916 to 1922, when the Washington Naval Treaty canceled those battle cruisers, the existing sailing ships were renamed USS Old Constellation and USS Old Constitution. They then reverted to their original names after the battle cruisers had been canceled. So likely, we would be named Old New Jersey. Alternatively, when the Navy built dreadnought-type battleships that already had armored cruisers carrying those names, such as Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Maryland, some of the Big Ten armored cruisers named after states, they renamed the armored cruisers after the largest city in that state that didn't already have a ship named after it. So for USS Maryland, there was already a USS Baltimore in the Navy, so they renamed her USS Frederick. So there's a strong chance that the battleship would retain her name and the submarine would become Trenton or Princeton or something like that. So those are 2 possibilities in the extremely unlikely event that the battleship gets reactivated. If you have any other questions, let us know in the comment section down below. Many Battleship New Jersey staff members and veterans of the battleship are going to be participating in the commissioning ceremony tomorrow. If you were able to get tickets, maybe we'll see you there. Otherwise, drop your questions in the comment section down below, and maybe we'll be able to answer them in future videos. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below for ways you can donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us on the channel. Thanks for watching.